Okay, we're back again for another week on the journey to becoming an MVP. And in this time, I want to talk around the topic that a lot of people have been asking me. What do I blog on? What do I create YouTube clips on? What do I, podcast on? What topics? At the end of the day, it comes down to one thing. What topics should I be talking on? Well, first of all, you should always talk on areas that you're passionate about. What interests you? What do you see as the core of who you are, your skill sets, that type of thing? It should kind of sit under that umbrella. Or, in my case, I've started to learn more about AI and mixed reality, so I'm broadening the things I write on as I'm learning about these technologies, even though, if you like, they're not necessarily part of my day-to-day work life yet. So when it comes to topics, there's a myriad of ways you can come up with ideas. First of all, look at whatever project you're currently working on. Have you run into problems or challenges on that project? If you keep a notepad of those things and note down what they are, often they're great starting points or topics that can be grown into a good post or a good video. So think about, even if you cast your eye back over past projects, is there something in those projects that you know that you couldn't find content on? Well, they're a good topic to start with. The next area I'd look at is, what are you learning now? I'm a big proponent of learning every day, spending at least 25 minutes learning something new. And as you learn about it, share what you're learning. Create a video on it. Write a blog post on it. There are ways of learning and sharing that information. Other people probably want to know about it as well. There'll be other people just like you that are interested. The other thing you can look at is what's new. What's new that's come to the platform? What new feature has come out recently? And there's not much information out there. Perhaps you could create a video on it. Perhaps you could do a demo of it. Perhaps you could write a post, a how-to, what to do to actually implement that feature, or come up with user cases and how other organizations could use it. There's another area. Think about Microsoft announcements. Twice a year we get release notes, right? There's a lot of content in there. There's a lot of ideas that at that point, a lot of people don't know a lot of information, so you can research them and write posts or create videos or do podcasts, etc. around those topics. The other thing is look at news. Subscribe to news feeds from Microsoft. Subscribe to news feeds from around the world in areas that you're interested in, and see if you can do a mashup of how those news items can be related to the technology we work with. And there's another source of topics. What I find is that ideas will often come to you at the weirdest of times. They will come up in conversations with people. They will come up as I said, you're on projects. They will come to you in the shower. There's many different ways that ideas will come to you. The key is to capture the idea when you get it. You don't have to thresh out all how it's going to work at that point, but you need to capture it. Two tools that I use to capture my ideas. I use OneNote. So if I see a link on a website or an image or content, and I just might grab that idea from any of those sources, might even create a voice note on it, and I save it in a tab in OneNote. The other tool I use is a product called Draft. I will link to this in the show notes below. And what Draft does, it's an iOS app, and it just allows you to quickly capture information. So whether it be text or, well, it is only text, but it allows you then to stream that information to other sources. So I can basically hit the button Draft and it'll place it into OneNote. I can hit a button Draft and it'll send me an email. There's ways that you can configure, if you like, to automate it. But I found Draft so helpful at when that moment of inspiration strikes, I'll just note it down and forget about it. And then when I come time to write a post, I go back through and I see blog post idea, blog post idea, blog post idea, or video idea, or video idea, or video idea. So as long as you have a tool to capture, what you do is basically you tune your mind in to come up with topics to write on and create fantastic content so that other members in the community can use your ideas to further their careers. That's my advice, if you like, for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, every Monday I do another video. I'll release another video. So feel free to come back then. Any comments for me, leave them below. I always answer them. If you go to my website and subscribe, I always send a personal video. Thank